Now, we want to talk about liquidity void. That's the reason why we're here. Liquidity void. I want to tell you the difference between liquidity void and fair value gap so that if you see it, you can be able to differentiate it all by yourself without anybody guiding you. I said a liquidity void. Okay, I have two definitions here, and I'm going to read out the two definitions. And I have definition of fair value gap as well. So I'll read out the liquidity void at first before liquidity void. Okay, we have two definitions here. This is the first one. The first two definition says a liquidity void is an area on the charts where price move too quickly. An area on the charts where price move too quickly, like I said initially. Too quickly. Let me delete all of this. Where price move too quickly. Leaving no meaningful structures or trading activities. Price move too quickly, leaving no meaningful structures or trading activities. Let's go back to that GBP USD that you used for the okay, the GBP USD. Pay attention now. It's an area in the chart where price move too quickly. Look at it. Price move too quickly here. Very, very quickly. Few, few. Leaving no meaningful structure. Do you see any structures? Even until price reach here, it does not have any structure. This is just only bullish candle. Only bullish candle we dey see for here. E no get any structure apart from bullish or trading activities. No other trading activities apart from what? Bullish trading activities. No any other exchange. There is no selling exchange. All what we are seeing is buying. Another definition says, I want you to grab it very well. That's why I'm using two definition now. A liquidity void occur when price move very fast. If you look, every of them, they put very too quickly. That was it too quickly. This was it very fast. In one direction, leaving little or not trading in between. Of course, when price move very fast, price move very fast here. In one direction, price moving very fast in a particular what direction, like this. Leaving little or no trading activities. Do you see any trading activities after the deposit? No. There's no selling activities that take place. Only buying activities. Only buying exchange is what we see. It's all what we see, buying exchange. Now, and I say that, what are the characteristics of this liquidity void? How can you know a liquidity void? What are the things to consider for you to know a liquidity void? Before I will tell you the difference between fair value gap and liquidity void, I want to tell you the characteristics. Number one, I said the formation of liquidity, this is how it's formatted. As a liquidity void created by fast impulsive move, that is one or more trading big candle. Price move, price created impulsive move. Price created impulsive move. Impulsive move by one single candle. Only one single candle like create that impulsive move. He said, only one single candle is what created that impulsive move. One is not two. One. Another characteristics of liquidity void is this. I'm telling you about the characteristics before I tell you how to know a valid one. I'm telling you about the characteristics first before I tell you how to know a valid one. Another characteristics for you to know a liquidity void is this: large empty space with few trading activities. Everything about liquidity void now large, very large, large empty. Empty space, large empty space, large. So the empty space must not be small like this. If this is a small one, this is a fair value gap. Don't worry, we are going there. But in case of liquidity void, it must be large. Now, this particular zone is what? Liquidity void. Liquidity void. LPQ. Liquidity void. This particular zone, why? Because it's a large empty space. It's not just an empty space. It must be a large one. This is a liquidity void. I'm telling you characteristics of liquidity void. These are the two major characteristics. One candlestick, 4 minutes, I must be what? In an empty space. And that's what happened. Got it? I just discovered this. That's why I said trading, of especially if you be SMC, you want to trade like the big banks. Do you know who you are comparing yourself with? The big banks? The big banks that have 50 years of experience? The big banks that have been trading for over 40 years? Now you compare yourself. You just start 3 months ago. You compare 3 month old child with a 50 years old child. If you use 3 months old child compare 50 years old child, for where they are different. So the little one will stop for them is this fair value gap. It's other block, but we are not going deeper to know how they operate. Now, this is not fair value gap. This old space is not fair value gap. This is a liquidity void. If you mark this thing now and you call it a fair value gap, I go just dey laugh you. You say this is a fair value gap. I go laugh you. This is not fair value gap. I will laugh at you. Because if you say this is a fair value gap, my guy, you go buy from here. You are going to buy from there now. You won't have any choice than to buy from that zone. That fair value gap has been refilled. You put the stop loss here. That's why you must understand liquidity void. You will buy from that zone after this money start, put a stop loss at the below this fair value gap, and you target the next key level as you take profits. That's what you are going to do. But guess what? Let's track it out. Guess what? You see, price sweeping out. You say, I beg, SMC no dey work. And what happen? Price pa 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 pa. Look at it. See, it go your way. It smash your take profits because you understand liquidity void. We learn lesson every day. Traders, you have to learn, keep learning. Trading is keep learning. Like you have to improve every single day. So now, these are the major characteristics of what is it called? Liquidity void. Number one, created by fast impulsive move, that is one, and large empty space, that is number two. Now, what is the difference between fair value gap and liquidity void? And what I'm here to just differentiate everything. Difference between fair value gap. Difference between fair value gap and liquidity sweep. Now, number one difference is this. I said in the case of fair value gap, it is formed by a 3 candle pattern with non-overlapping zone. Three candlestick pattern with non-overlapping zone, like what happened here. We don't need to go too far. Let me use that same example. Look at this now. Oh, now look at this now. Market have been going down. This is a bearish order flow. It's a break of structure here to the downside, right? Now, if you look at it here, we have an order block here, here, and we have a fair value gap here. How can we know that that particular zone is a valid fair value gap? Is a fair value gap. Number one, I said formed by a three candle pattern with no overlapping zone. Look at it. Three candles pattern. One. This is number one candle. This candle one. This candle one. This is candle two. Three candlestick is what we need for fair value gap. Candle two. That's what we need though. We don't need anything like this. And the third candle, candle three. One, the green one, which is the bullish, this bearish, and this are this candle that form this fair value gap. Now what happened? This three candle, I said it is formed by three candles pattern with no overlapping zone. Do you see that none of them overlap with each other? What I mean by overlapping is besiding it, staying below it, so close to it. Can you see that? There are space between it. Overlapping is, or not overlapping is that there is a space. Non overlapping is that there's a space between it. Overlapping is that there's no space between it. When price overlap with you, there's no space. But whenever there's a space, we call it no overlapping, and that's what happened here. No overlapping. This one is non-overlapping to this. And this particular zone what is our fair value gap. And when our price come back to this fair value gap and start going down. And if you look at it, that fair value gap give us liquidity. This is a liquidity zone. You see, for people who sold out here, price sweep them out. If you come back to this one and started selling, that's a value. That's why this fair value gap is valid, because we have liquidity resting at it. The price come back to that fair value gap and start selling to this zone. So let me tell you a secret, any buying or selling method we are using, other block or fair value gap, there must be a liquidity sweep. Because that liquidity sweep is the energy of the market. So after liquidity sweep, you come to your fair value gap and started selling. But in the case of liquidity void, as created by fast impulsive move, one candle, just one candle. Sometimes it's more than one, but this one, some cases it's just with one candlestick, one. And what do you see? We have an impulsive move that created one candle. Only one candle created the impulsive move. So this kind of scenarios is not called fair value gap. Now, a lot of this place will say that this is a fair value gap. This is not a fair value gap. This is not a fair value gap. Rather, this is what a liquidity void. Don't call it fair value gap because it's a one candlestick. Fast, very fast, very fast. This one is not fast. If you look at this one, it's not fast. The candlestick is not fast. And price come back here and we expect this is a fair value gap. But this one is what? It's a fast movement. And it's just created by one candle. So this particular one is a liquidity void. Now, liquidity void. Are we following? Now, that is number one difference between fair value gap and liquidity void. The second difference between fair value gap and liquidity void, in the case of fair value gap, clear gap between candle one and candle three, clear gap, space. There's a space between the gap is very, very clear. Clear gap between the candle one here and this is the candle three. You see a space. But if you look at it before initially, there's no space. There's no space. Can you see? There's no space. Whenever price give us, you see, you come back and you feel it. There's no space. But in this particular zone, we see a gap. which show that the smart money are here. So you see, so this particular one is what we call fair value gap. Expect clear space between candle one and two. That's what Christ was able to come back here. And even you have sold out here after this bearish engulfing, or this is bearish engulfing candle, you sold out here, put a stop loss here, and target this loss and take profits. This is a nice trade. You see, using fair value gap to buy. Now, in the case of liquidity void, I said large empty space with few weak, large empty, large empty space. You see, I don't call large here, large. So if you are dealing with liquidity space, this large empty space must be there. Empty. A space that is empty, a large space that is empty. Had it been price is just like an empty space like this, it could have been a fair value gap. Or just like this. We have fair value gap now. This is a fair value gap here. This is space here. It's a fair value gap. This is called fair value gap. I look at price come back here, I started buying. This is a fair value gap. This is space. This space is called fair value gap. But anyone that is large like this is called liquidity void. Anyone that way large, I don't explain this thing finish now, it's called liquidity void. But there are some things to consider for you to have a valid liquidity void. That's why this normally price for respect this other block where you buy from. Because that's a valid one. But the reason why price does not respect this liquidity void is because why? There is no other block. There is no liquidity resting at your liquidity void. Got it? There's no liquidity resting at your liquidity void. If not, price will have started buying from here. Price will have started buying from here. From here. Price will have started buying from here. But because price lack liquidity, now make a price not buy. Please, boss question. Please, at what time frame did I consider the void? Any time frame, but always consider time. This one is 15 minutes time frame now. It's just like a fair value gap. You can use your fair value gap in any time frame. Liquidity void, you can mitigation block. You can use it in any time frame. 15 minutes, you can any time frame, but always consider your higher time frame because your higher time frame is the best. Is what move the market. Always anything you want to do in the market, consider your higher time frame first. Before I started doing all these things, I've considered my higher time frame. The market is what is in a bullish order flow for my higher time frame. So consider your higher time frame. Whatever you are doing in the market is very, very important. You can use it in any time frame, but consider your higher time frame. So we are going to be back again one more time. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We are coming back one more time, and let's see, be back again. And I will send the records to you. So if you haven't joined my Telegram community, my YouTube, go and click or go to your YouTube and type Flippers Academic 04. That's my YouTube handle, Flippers Academic 04. That same Flippers Academic 04 in our TikTok is my YouTube handle. I will post this on my YouTube handle, Flippers Academic 04.